Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Stein, principal here at Stein IP LLC. This is the second of our Stein IP podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce Josue Rosario, who is our fall 2023 intern, and he is also a native of Puerto Rico.
Yes. Thank you so much for that, Michael. I'm very excited and very grateful to be here as an intern for this semester. I'm interning under the Washington Center program here in Washington, D.C. I'm a fifth-year business student at the University of Puerto Rico Rio Piedras campus. Michael, today's topic is going to be about patents in Puerto Rico.
Okay, so Puerto Rico has not forever been part of the United States. Wasn't part of the United States since the Constitution was ratified. So, can you tell us a little bit about the history of patents in Puerto Rico?
Well, as Michael mentioned, Puerto Rico has not always been part of the United States. It was first ruled by the royalties at Spain for a long time during the 18th and 19th century. Puerto Rico was part of the colonial territories of Spain. After 1998, after the Spanish-American War, Puerto Rico was handed over to the United States with the signing of the Paris Treaty, which concluded the Spanish-American War. Patents in Puerto Rico, as in many places, have been around for centuries. In Puerto Rico especially, I do remember the first patent being from Juan Ramos in 1850, I believe. It was in process patent, I believe, for the purification of sugarcane juice. It's actually added a few more chemicals and distilled the product from the sugarcane in a different way that made it more clear and more purified for drinkers.
And so when it was under Spanish rule,
yeah,
it was under Spanish patent law, and then did that change once, I guess, the United States took possession in 1898 or something like that?
Yes. So for the first patents that were filed in Puerto Rico, most of them were under two big groups in Puerto Rico. It was agriculture. They were mostly related to coffee plantations, and I do believe and sugarcane. Sorry about that. They were mostly revolving around sugarcane proceedings, updating recipes, manufacturing procedures and equipment under those two areas. And for Puerto Rico specifically, in Cuba, which both were colonial territories of Spain, patent law that was filed in 1878, I believe, was the legal system we used in Puerto Rico for patents during that time. After the Spanish-American War, all the patents that were filed under the reign of Spain in Puerto Rico and Cuba actually transferred to the United States USPTO office during that time. And all these patents that were issued to Spain had to be reissued to the United States to be documented under their patent system.
Okay, and then everybody, not everyone, but a lot of people know about the terrible hurricanes and the devastation. I think in the mid-2000s,
Yes.
There was a huge one, and so it tends to batter the Puerto Rican economy. But I just from our previous discussions, I know there's a lot of innovation and stuff. So how has Puerto Rico attempted or is overcoming all these barriers to make advancements in science and technology?
Well, I know for a fact that Puerto Rico has had a few struggles, especially in the last two, I'd say, decades. Puerto Rico has really faced a lot of droughts in its innovation areas, specifically in the electrical grid part. We have faced numerous economical deficits since the early 2000s, Michael mentioned. Different disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, a bunch of different things that have been piling up in recent years have really brought Puerto Rico down to, not to say its knees, but we have really had challenging times. regarding to patents and innovation in Puerto Rico, we have the University of Puerto Rico is a big support for this area in the sector of innovation, especially in the technology sector. Especially at University of Puerto Rico, I know from the Maya West campus and the Bayamon campus actually have two libraries that were issued by the USPTO office as centers for information and any assistance they might need for Puerto Ricans that are trying to file applications for patents. They're going to go to these institutions, these campuses, and get all the help and information they need for them to follow proceedings to file for patents. There's also the TTO office. It's an office that is imposed to progression in Puerto Rico in the technology sector and innovation, especially regarding patents and new inventions, which have started a startup project for those people that have inventions and are looking to gain control over their invention, patent their invention, so they can profit economically from this. They actually have a joint program with the University of Puerto Rico for future inventors, future students that are actually studying specifically engineering bachelor's or major programs to help any inventions they might create along the way of their bachelor's to get patented and under funds of the University of Puerto Rico. So that's one of the initiatives that's been going around Puerto Rico to battle these barriers we had during the few years, of drought and economic recessions.
This TTO you mentioned, I remember reading, or maybe you mentioned to me in the previous discussion, there's about the Puerto Rico Science, Technology, and Research Trust. Who set that up and who runs that? Is that the government? Is that the Puerto Rico University? Or?
Yes, so that's a program that was issued by the Management Oversight Board of Puerto Rico, Junta Control Fiscal for those Spanish-speaking person that are viewers. Basically, that assigns amounts of a budget to innovate, to propel innovation in certain sectors in Puerto Rico. For instance, the Inter-American University of Puerto Rico is also a big patent agency in Puerto Rico that also helps its students. So most of these funds and budget from this program that was issued from the Management and Oversight Board of Puerto Rico is actually being allocated to these institutions to promote more growth in our technology center and for innovation for future patentees holders in Puerto Rico and inventors of the island.
And you mentioned University of Puerto Rico University. I would imagine that there's got to be other applicants. There's got to be other research being done. There's got to be some private. Do you care to share any of those items of information with us?
So I'd say roughly around 42% of the applications of patents in Puerto Rico derived from 5 different entities. Most of them are from the University of Puerto Rico, as I previously mentioned, which is a top patent applicant from Puerto Rico. We also have St. Jude Children's Hospital institution that's located in Puerto Rico, and Skyger Group, I believe. Most of the patent ideas and inventions they apply for patents and protection revolve around biomedical procedures, equipment, and manufacturing processes. So yeah, those are some of the private entities in Puerto Rico that are filing for patents right now.
I mean, I've learned a lot since I had you research this project, and hopefully our audience members are learning a lot. Is there anything else that you'd care to tell us about with respect to the patent process, research going on? Come to Puerto Rico with your technology, anything.
Come to Puerto Rico with technology. That's a perfect way to put it. Puerto Rico is a beautiful island with a lot of resources and a lot of potential that hasn't been exploited due to certain government issues and economical struggles. But I do believe Puerto Rico is a place for new inventions that are being developed every day, all the time. For example, the University of Puerto Rico, one of their biggest inventions, more recent ones, was for the COVID pandemic, when they invented a facial mask that using frequency wave detects when somebody's actually trying to eat something with their hand. So they detects their hand and the mask opens, making it easier for consumption of food or beverages while protecting yourself from COVID. Another finding really interesting from the University of Puerto Rico actually was from a student at the Maya West campus, was a way to reduce how HIV replicates in one's DNA. It was one of the earlier findings. I believe it was in 2012 or 2011. This was found and filed for a patent application. So yeah, Puerto Rico is a growing community right now. We had our struggles in the past, but hopefully with this new TTO program and the trust that has been placed on from the management and oversight board that has been installed in Puerto Rico, we could have more future inventors and more innovation in different tech sectors in Puerto Rico. So we can finally propel our economic crisis upwards and be a more productive community and more productive island in the Caribbean.
I'm sure that will be the case. I appreciate this discussion. I appreciate the research you did, and wish you all the best upon your return to Puerto Rico, and looking forward to seeing all the new innovations and technology that comes out of that country and what your part will be in that.
Of course, I hope to be a big part of it now that I'm going for my JD and MBA degree and possibly joining pro bono cases regarding IP intellectual properties to help fellow inventors and engineers from Puerto Rico get their ideas patented and offer any help I can.
Okay, well, that's it for our second Stein IP podcast. Thank you for watching, and look forward to seeing you at our third podcast. Take care.